Today I'm sharing the first chapter of The Princess and the Pup by Sam Hay, published by Feiwel and Friends. Here we go. Chapter 1. Evie carefully lined up all the ingredients she'd need, then checked to make sure the blender was plugged in at the wall and the jug. Chef, you have just 5 minutes to concoct a record-breaking, world-beating, mind-blowing, unbelievably delicious dessert to win the international trophy for treats. And the clock starts now. Evie tossed a handful of chopped apple into the blender, threw in some pear cubes and a small bowl of grated carrot, then hit the on button. Quick, pass me those freezer pot molds, she asked her buddy Iris, who was sitting on the kitchen counter, swinging her legs. Oh, and I'll need that big box of meaty sticks, too. As fast as you can, please. Meaty sticks? Iris's eyes popped. For a dessert? Sure. Iris slid the molds over, then reached for the box of brown sticks. She wrinkled her nose. They smell. But Evie didn't reply. She was still racing against the clock in her head. She flicked off the blender and poured the gooey mixture into the molds. Now I just need to add a meaty stick to each one, she said, pushing them speedily into the mush. And after a fast visit to the freezer, my new awesome fruity popsicles will be done. Stop the clock! Dessert complete! Well, almost. Are you sure this new recipe is going to work? Iris frowned. I know you're the chef, but apple, pear, carrot, and meaty sticks? Evie giggled. Sure, they're really tasty, if you're a dog. Ha! Then Iris's frown turned upside down, and she grinned. Ah, I get it now. You're creating recipes for Fudge. At the sound of his name, the pup came bounding into the diner kitchen and flung himself at Evie. Hey, you're not supposed to be in here. Evie looked over to see if her dad, who was at the other end of the large kitchen, had noticed. But he was singing along to the radio, with his head in the steam from the large pot of soup he was stirring. Evie crouched down and buried her face in the pup's warm, spiky fur. Oh, I missed you too, but if Hannah sees you... How's that going? Iris whispered. Has your stepmom decided yet if Fudge can stay? Thanks to the agents of HEART, a team of fairy tale rescue princesses who had recently popped out of a magical book, stray pup Fudge had come into Evie's life. But her stepmom, Hannah, didn't think their family diner was the best place for him to live. She'd given him a week to prove he could fit in. Hannah's not made up her mind yet, Evie said, but Fudge is doing so well. Really? Iris watched as Fudge jumped up on his back legs and pulled a tea towel off the counter and began shredding it. He's barking a lot less, Evie said, wrestling the towel out of his mouth and replacing it with a squishy giraffe toy she found on the floor. And he's really not chewing things nearly so much. Iris raised an eyebrow. Great. And he only escaped into the diner twice today. And Hannah didn't notice at all. Evie rinsed her hands at the sink, then picked up the molds and put them into the freezer. Don't worry, Fudge. These popsicles will be ready for munching very soon. Look, these are the other dog treats I've been experimenting with. She pulled out an ice cube tray filled with yellow blobs and showed it to Iris. They look yummy. Iris said with a grimace. Fudge thinks so. It's banana ice cream. Well, it's not actually ice cream. It's just blended bananas, she said in a quieter voice. But don't tell Fudge, because he thinks he's having the real thing. Iris chuckled. Don't worry, your secret's safe with me. I've got a whole freezer full of dog treats, Evie said. Did I tell you about the doggy cake pops I've made? See, I was thinking if Fudge likes these dog treats, then maybe he'll stop trying to sneak into the diner and grab the customers' orders. Delicious Doggy Desserts by Evie Brown. Fudge can't resist food, but human snacks aren't good for him, so I've started making doggy desserts that are safe for him to enjoy. Here's how to make them for your BFF, best furry friend. Forever. Don't forget to ask an adult for help to stay in the kitchen, and remember too, many treats are bad for dogs, so only serve on special occasions. You can make fruit popsicles, positively yummy ice cream. But aren't you worried your dad might accidentally serve up the dog's desserts to the diner customers? Evie laughed. Nah, this is the old freezer. Dad doesn't use it for anything else. Shame. I'd quite like to see the Pemberton twins munching on a dog snack. Evie grinned. She kind of agreed. Ever since she'd moved to Lime Bay a few weeks ago, Katie Bell and Clara Pemberton have made things difficult for Evie. But I don't care, she thought, because I've got Fudge paws crossed and Iris and Zach to hang out with, and I get to help out in the diner now. Okay, Buster, she said, tickling Fudge's ears, I think we'd better get you outside before... Evie! Hannah suddenly called from the hall. Have you seen Fudge? Oops! Evie looked around for somewhere to hide the pup. Iris pointed to a large stew pot drying on the counter. But it was too late. There you are. Hannah appeared in the doorway. Oh, hi, Iris, she smiled, and then looked back at the pup. I should have known you'd be in here. Fudge let out a loud, hello, Hannah, have I told you how much I love you today, sort of bark, and raced to greet her. Evie held her breath, but her stepmom's stern face broke into a big grin. Okay, yes, you're a lovely boy. A lovely boy. Evie looked at Iris, her eyes wide. That sounded positive, right? But you're not allowed in here, Hannah said, her voice firm again. If the restaurant inspector pays us a surprise visit and sees you in here, they'll close us down. Now come on, out you go, back to the yard. As she escorted Fudge to the door, she looked back at Evie. Oh, and Dylan says he'll meet you out front with the cart in 5 minutes. Can you take Fudge with you? Sure, Evie nodded. I'll fetch his leash. It's on the counter in the diner. No Fudge. Not that way. Dogs don't go through the diner. I'll put him in the yard until you're ready to leave. Come on, Mr. Dog, let's go. Did I tell you I'm helping out on our new mobile ice cream cart today? Evie asked as she and Iris headed for the diner. Iris's eyes sparkled. That sounds so cool. Can I buy some? Of course, but you might want me to serve you. Evie leaned in closer and lowered her voice. My cousin Dylan's not the best at scooping ice cream. He drops even more than me. Iris giggled. So Dylan's on vacation from college, right? Yeah, but I don't think he really wants a job. Hannah says she thinks he'd rather be hanging out with his buddies than serving ice cream. She slipped behind the diner counter and slid the leash out from under a pile of order pads. Then she picked up her backpack from the cubbyhole beneath. She stole a quick glance inside. Yep, the magical book of fairy tales, just in case I need the agents of HEART. Iris and her cousin Zach weren't the biggest fans of the rescue princesses, but Evie loved being part of their enchanted world. She felt a little ripple of excitement at the thought of having to call on them for help again. Come on, she called to Iris as she headed for the diner door. We can wait for Dylan on the patio. Outside, the tables were full of customers. Evie couldn't help but have a quick check around in case any plates or glasses needed clearing. Whoa, so many people are eating my happily ever after ice cream, she thought, glancing at their orders. Hey, Fancy Pants. Iris went over to stroke a large tabby cat sitting on the fence surrounding the patio, cleaning its paws. He's here a lot, Evie said, following her over. I saw Dad feeding him yesterday. I think he wants to keep him. Fancy Pants was another stray animal that had arrived at the diner, thanks to the agents of HERT. But Evie's stepmom was adamant he wasn't on the potential pets list. Fudge wasn't too sure of him at first, Evie said, giving the cat a stroke. But now he loves him, doesn't he, Puss? Unfortunately, Fancy Pants doesn't feel the same way. Oh, there's Dylan, she waved to her cousin, who had appeared around the side of the diner, pushing the ice cream cart. But just then, something small and furry shot between Dylan's legs and bounded toward the patio. Oh, Evie breathed. Fudge must have escaped from the yard. Oh, no, he's going to jump. Evie raced over to grab him as he landed on the patio, but the pup had seen the cat now and did a midair swerve, avoiding Evie's arms and crashing down on top of one of the tables. Then he dived onto the floor and bounded past the customers with a loud, Hi, Fancy Pants. I'm so happy to see you. Want to play? Sort of bark. Want to continue the journey? Stop by and grab a copy of The Princess and the Pup by Sam Hay.